Greetings and welcome to this short video presentation on how we go about working with Systemd and DNF Package Management in Linux. Starting with Fedora 15, Fedora introduced a piece of core software called Systemd. Systemd is a collection of tools for a range of different tasks, but its primary purpose is initializing, managing, and tracking system services and daemons in Fedora, both during startup and while the system is running. In previous versions of Fedora, these jobs were handled by the Systemd init, or just init. I am currently logged on to my Fedora server as root. And to begin this lab, we can go to Activities. We can type in term or terminal inside of the search bar, hit enter, and we can then bring up our terminal. An easy way to find something on the Linux operating system is to use the whereis command. So if I wanted to know where the Systemd was currently at on my operating system, I would just type in whereis space Systemd, and now I'm going to hit enter, and it comes back and it tells me exactly where it's located. To see if the Systemd is running on the current system, I can use the following command: ps-ef space pipe space grep space Systemd. Now remember, all these commands are available from the lab, so you can just copy and you can paste them into the terminal. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and now we can see all the process IDs and other information pertaining to what the Systemd is managing on my current system. To clear my screen, I'm using the clear command in between the time that I type in the next command. So if I want to clear this content, I just type in clear, and I'm back to the top of the page. Another thing we can do with the Systemd is analyze our boot time. So I've typed in systemd-analyze. I'm going to hit enter, and it shows me how long it took to finish the entire boot process. If your boot process is taking a while to get to the desktop, you can use the systemd-analyze space blame command to see which processes are taking the longest to start up. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and then it shows me exactly what took the most time to start up. To see the next screen and get back to my prompt, I can just type in Control-C. To see if a certain service is currently running on my operating system, I can type in the systemctl space status space followed by the name of that service. In this example, we're going to check and see if Apache is up and running. From our results, we can determine that Apache is present on the operating system, but it is not running. It is disabled and inactive. We can also use the systemctl command to see if a certain service is enabled to start when the OS begins to boot. I've typed in systemctl space is-enabled space httpd.service. I'm going to go ahead and see if Apache is configured to start when the operating system boots, and it is disabled at startup. To configure a particular service to start when the operating system does boot up, I can type in systemctl space enable space followed by the name of that service. In this case, I'm telling the operating system I want Apache to start when the operating system boots. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and it tells me that that link has been created. To see if this command was truly successful, I'm going to have to reboot my server. So I'm going to reboot, and when we come back up, we'll check the status of the HTTPD service. My machine has rebooted. I've logged on again as root. I'm back to the terminal, and now I'm going to check on the status of my Apache server or the HTTPD service. I'm going ahead and typed in systemctl space status space HTTPD. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and now it comes up and it gives me the active in green, letting me know that the service did actually start when the system booted. In this next part of the lab, we're going to work with the DNF command. Now DNF stands for Dandified Yum. Yum, or the Yellow Dog Updater Modified, is a package manager for RPM-based distributions such as Fedora, CentOS, Red Hat, and there are others. DNF, sometimes referred to as the Dandified Yum, is the next generation of the package manager. So DNF is the next generation software package manager, and it is responsible for installing, updating, and removing packages on RPM-based Linux distributions. DNF automatically computes dependencies and determines the actions required to install packages. DNF also makes it easier to maintain groups of machines, eliminating the need to manually update each one using RPM. It was introduced in Fedora 18, and it has been the default package manager since Fedora 22. Using DNF, we can check to see if there are any updates available. And to do this, I've typed in DNF space check-update. And we're going to go ahead and hit enter. And in just a moment, it's going to come back with a list of any possible updates. So as with all Linux distributions, if you do an update daily, don't be surprised if you get updates. It's that often that these updates actually occur. In this case, I haven't updated for about a week, and I have over 173 different packages waiting to be downloaded and installed. By now, you should be familiar with the DNF update or upgrade command. I've typed in DNF space -y space either update or upgrade. Now, in this case, it comes back and it tells me that yes, I will go ahead and I will download 163 packages to install onto this version of Fedora. To see a list of all the packages that were just downloaded using the update or the upgrade command, I can type in DNF space list. Now watch what happens. So it's going to come back and it's going to scroll through this long list of all the packages that were just installed. Now if I would like to break this down into one page at a time, I can type in DNF space list space all space pipe space more, and now I'll be given the results one page at a time. Now if you would like to see the results one at a time or one page at a time, you can either hit the space bar, that's going to give you one page, or I can hit enter and I can get one line at a time. If you'd like to obtain a list of all the repositories that you are pulling down from, you can type in DNF space repo list. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter to this. In just a moment, it's going to come back and tell me exactly where it's getting these updates from. To see a list or a readout of the repository packages Fedora has currently installed, I can type in DNF space repository-packages space Fedora space list space installed, and now I can get some more information about what's actually been installed. Since DNF is our default package manager, we can use it to install and to uninstall packages by just typing in DNF space followed by the command to install and followed by the package we want to install. In this case, I'm telling it that I want you to download and install for me the Nano editor. I think that package is already installed, so it'll just come back and tell me that there's nothing to do. So this is a great tool when it comes to removing corrupted packages, or if we're having a problem with a daemon or a service such as Apache service or the DNS or the DHCP, we can not only install that service, but if it gives us enough grief, we can then uninstall it and then reinstall it one more time. Another feature of the DNF command is the ability to clean up unused or unneeded packages off of our machine. To do this, I've typed in DNF space clean space all. I'm now going to hit enter. Let's see what it comes back, and it tells me that 35 packages were removed. If you'd like to know more about the DNF command and find out what other switches are available that you can use with it, you can just type in DNF space help. If you'd like to get a readout of all the DNF commands that have been ran on your machine over the last period of time, you can type in DNF space -history. It'll come back up and it will show you exactly what commands have been run and when they were run and what actions occurred. To check and see what files or distributions need to be synced with your machine, you can type in DNF space distro-sync. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. When I run the distro-sync command, it comes back and it tells me that I do not have the most stable releases, and that's what I want. So it's telling me to get the most stable releases, I have to upgrade 21 packages. The distro-sync command has came back and has told me that I have 21 packages that are not the latest and the greatest for stability. So I'm going to go ahead and install those real quick. And I'm going to just type in Y for yes, hit enter, And we'll be back in just a moment after these packages have synced up with my current installation of Fedora Server. To get the specifics about a package that you've downloaded, you can type in DNF space info space the name of the package. In this example, I'm going to look at the information about the nano package that I downloaded earlier. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. It's going to come back and give me all the specifics about this particular install of nano. So I just want to mention before we wrap it up how important it is to get familiarized with these two commands, systemd and DNF. These two commands are what's going to become the de facto standard for all your RPM distributions for Linux, such as CentOS, Red Hat, and Fedora. Okay, well that's all I have for you for this short video presentation, and I hope I will see you in my next video.